YouTubers, and I'm back for another What Would Have Happened if This Were in Real Life RhinoTMRTGamePlay series YouTube video. Now, I've been trying over and over again, and you can see by the background that my background feels a little bit different, and I wanted to do that, so so for the first 4 minutes, I'm just gonna explain why I'm in here and not on the couch. It's not that I'm sick. I'm fine. You can see right here. You can see right here, I'm fine. It's just, I wanted to do it in here because, well, it's just how it is. And, I wanted to do it here, so, yeah, I wanted to do my YouTube video here. And, yeah, I guess that kind of does make a lot of sense. So, I'm guessing I'm just gonna make it like this and see how it is. I just wanted to do it here, and I just hoped that I would be doing all of that. Now, the reason why I'm in this room is because one, I think my dad is watching TV, so this of course is what has happened on back on September 22, which this of course somehow happened where I did someplace else. And yeah, I guess it just makes a very difference. You can see my background right here, and yeah, I guess it kind of does make a lot of sense, and I wanted to do it here, and yeah, I guess I wanted to do a YouTube video here, and it doesn't matter whether or not, you'll hear a little bit of background noise in there, or at least that's what I've heard. And hopefully that would make sense. Me and Shane did a YouTube video today, so yeah, I guess that kind of does make a lot of sense. So, yeah, I guess it does. And yeah, so, without further ado, this is what would have happened if the Chicken Little 2 movie were in real life. So we cut open to the beginning where Chicken Little run out of the litter, and Abby Mallard and the fish out of water are enjoying their lives, in which case I guess that kind of does make a lot of sense. Wanted to stop my talking at 2 minutes and not at 4 minutes, so yeah, Chicken Little and his friends are all enjoying themselves, and well, yeah, I guess it kind of does make a lot of sense. However, that all changes when an evil Chicken Little from a different reality actually comes from a different reality, where of course where the alien invasion from Chicken Little 1 actually where of course the alien invasion, so in the evil Chicken Little's reality, the alien invasion already got rid of everybody else except for evil Chicken Little and of course his friends. So yeah, I guess that kind of does make a lot of sense. So yeah, so evil Chicken Little is eventually uh finds himself in the Okiokes, in another reality of Okiokes, which happens to have the good side, which happens to be the other Chicken Little from that. So yeah, I guess it is narrowed down by that. It's actually a new idea. Then of course, the evil Chicken Little actually banishes Chicken Little and his friends to where else? They banished them to Earth, which is a faraway planet from those octopus alien people, and of course Okio. So they're far away from them. From here, Chicken Little and his friends are actually turned into real life talking animals. So remember in Space Jam 2 where Bugs Bunny and all the other characters from Toon World actually turned more human like. Well, that's kind of what is happening for Chicken Little and his friends. They become actual real people in Earth. They actually become real talking animals in Earth, And of course, I guess it kind of does narrow down everything. So yeah, I guess it kind of does, and yeah, I guess that's what I wanted to do. So yeah, and then of course, so Tranquil and their friends and his free friends are eventually, you know, brought by, they're eventually, they eventually are, you know, far away from Oak, which is now controlled by evil Chicken Little, and of course, it kind of just makes sense. So Chicken Little and his friends, who are now more human-like on Earth, must eventually run into four people who are just eventually run into four human characters who, of course, are just like them. And I guess that kind of does make sense because, you know, I wanted to do that, and I guess it just seems very obvious. Hopefully when I come back to the regular YouTube videos of these, I'll be able to like no, hopefully when I come back to these, hopefully when I come back to the regular one of these where I'm in that chair, then that will make probably good sense. So yeah, so Trigon and their friends are technically who are now human like on Earth, are eventually, like very, they've been like sleeping, and then the four human characters who are just like them actually wake them up, and suddenly this time, much like the Phineas and Ferb movie one I did, the four human characters in the Chicken Little 2, they actually from Earth, they actually don't do the whole alien invasion thing. They don't do the alien invasion thing. And one of the human characters who happens to be the main human character of that reality of the Earth of the reality known as Earth. He is just like he of course is just like his father, he of course is just like his father in that reality. So imagine there being like a human character who's just like his father, and they have no problem. So imagine what that would be like. That's what the one out of four of the human characters are actually doing. So they eventually so Chicken Little and their friends, which of course are now human like, they eventually tell the four human characters that, of course, evil Chicken Little is taking over Oaks, and he's gonna take over every other reality, including that one. So the four human characters are like, oh well, we don't know you yet, and we're just gonna, we're just gonna like call the police on you. So Chicken Little and their friends are eventually arrested, while also mentioning to the police officers that 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 Okie Oaks has been taken over by evil Chicken Little, and soon Earth will too, and soon Earth and all the other realities, including Okie Oaks, will all be under the control of evil Chicken Little. So no, police officers of Earth don't believe them, which of course is actually very obvious. In which case that is. So then eventually Chicken Little actually gets some sort of a message from Chicken Little, and their friends actually get a message from Foxy Loxy, who is now apparently the good guy, and tells Chicken Little and his friends that Okie Oaks have been under control, and that she was the only one who escaped. So yeah, so Foxy Loxy was actually the only one who escaped Okie Oaks to go to Earth to find Chicken Little and his friends. I figured this would kind of be the plot because I figured this would kind of be the plot, and actually it does sound a lot like a good sequel to the Chicken Little movie, which of course is actually very obvious. So eventually, she eventually frees Chicken Little and his friends, in which case that kind of does make sense. They all escape Earth along with the four. They all escape Earth and say goodbye to. They all escape Earth and tell the four human characters that they will come back for them. And then eventually, Chicken Little and his friends, and Foxy, Loxy, Goosey, Lucy, and all the other characters of Okie Oaks eventually fight back against evil Chicken Little, and like an all out fight and battle scene in order to get rid of evil Chicken Little. So there's a big fight and battle scene, and then just when all hope is lost, it's actually Buck Cluck actually does something good for Chicken Little by actually sacrificing himself. So yeah, this is the movie where Buck Cluck actually sacrifices himself for Chicken Little. Then of course then of course then of course it makes it then of course everything is still fine. I mean, all of Chicken Little's friends and all the other characters, they're all fighting back. They're all fighting against evil Chicken Little, they're still doing that. Even for Chicken Little 2, this is actually, you know how like even Mayor Turkey Lurkey is actually a good character. Is actually a good character by leading all the citizens of Okie Oaks into battle against evil Chicken Little. So this is actually it turns out that Mayor Turkey Lurkey actually gets a good character arc in the Chicken Little 2. So they do that while Chicken Little and Buck Cluck, they all while they like do all like while they while Chicken Little takes Buck Cluck to their home and all. And then Chicken Little's like, Dad, why are you dying? And then Buck Cluck is like, I'm sorry, Chicken. I'm grateful and honored to be your father and a great friend. So then, just a moments later, Buck Cluck dies, and then Chicken Little eventually, who now lost both his parents, and has no one left, eventually fights back against her, is the one who banishes evil Chicken Little. And then this is the movie. Then a couple of years later, Chicken Little and Abby Mallard are now adults, and so are Chicken Little's friends, and of course they're all enjoying their lives. And then I guess that kind of makes a lot of good sense. That Chicken Little and Abby Mallard eventually get married. We see them get married, and then they talk about having kids. Chicken Little and his friends, they all talk about having kids, and then it all ends out on a perfectly good note. The end, and then the credits roll. Now, I think this was actually a perfectly good idea. I mean, I wanted to do Chicken Little 2. I mean, I wanted to make this a great like sequel, just like the Casper 2, and you get what I'm saying, right? Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say a lot of stuff. I mean, I couldn't do this anywhere else, so yeah, I guess it kind of does make sense. Yeah, and that's it for today. Peace out. Bye bye.